My name's Tyler Peterson. I am Senior Vice President of Underwriting Management at Hiscox Insurance Company in the US.
For those not familiar with Hiscox, can you give us like a high level overview? Who do you service? What do you sell?
Absolutely. Hiscox is a specialty insurance company. We started in 1901 in the UK, and we've spent the past 20 years in the US specializing in insuring small businesses around America. And we now have over 600,000 small and medium sized businesses around the US.
Okay, that sounds great because today we are talking about innovations regarding insurance when it comes to small businesses specifically. So, what are some of your key priorities in terms of innovation over the next, let's say, 1 to 2 years from now?
Sure. I think there are two main areas I wanted to focus on with you today, Krister. One has to do with general product updates and modernization. So we are very much focused on ensuring that the products that we bring to the market to ensure our business customers are modern, that they're fit for purpose, and that they cover the risks of today and tomorrow. So the product updates that we're looking at are really tailored to emerging risks, in addition to the risks that the customers already are facing. And an example of that would be the fact that we know from our people and programs report that we did in 2024 that 3 out of 5 small business customers are looking to adopt or already using in the next 24 months. And so we want to make sure that our insurance products are evolving in order to cater to the exposures that will come with the adoption of artificial intelligence in the small business and the mid-sized business space. So we're looking at product updates. Another example would be ensuring our products are addressing just other changing trends in specific sectors and industry. An example of that might be how many allied healthcare practitioners are really leaning into virtual care and have adopted virtual care as a way of providing their services. So in addition to needing that traditional professional liability or general liability policy to cover their core professional risks, we also need to make sure that we've got products available to them that cater to the exposures that come with using technology to provide those virtual care services. And so we're looking at how we package the technology coverage, the cyber coverage with traditional professional liability and general liability coverage that these customers would need. My next point was really going to be on that packaging point. So a strong piece of feedback that we've received from our customers is around the desire to have the insurance buying experience be easier, faster, simpler. And we know that our business customers' time is very precious. We want to be able to meet them where they are in that way. And so what we're doing is we're looking at how we, as a specialty business insurer, can become a one-stop shop for these professionals' purchase of their commercial insurance program. So how can we expand our appetite? How can we broaden our product suite so that way a customer can only come to one insurer and really simplify what insurance purchase process looks like?
So another thing that's come up in my research is around the concerns over premiums going up over the last few years. How are you thinking about premium finance, premium costs, or other aspects to do with helping your customers with their cash flow or affordability in general?
Yeah, I think that's an excellent question. And we certainly know that the needs of small business customers are very unique. And the environment that they're operating in, especially today, is rapidly shifting and evolving, and every dollar is accounted for. So I'm not surprised that this is a question that's come up. Um, we take a look at this in a variety of different ways. So as a preeminent insurer in this space, we will review our pricing on a regular basis. And we look at whether or not the claims that we're paying are better than we expect, worse than we expect, or right on where we expect. And certainly in circumstances where certain segments of business is performing better than we expect, we will adjust our pricing down because of the fact that we want to make sure that we're competitive and we want to make sure that we're fairly priced for the risk that we're taking as an insurance company. And that's really what uh, the premium and the pricing models are all about, is what is a fair price for the risk that we're taking as an insurance organization. Um, Separately from that, though, what we have done is we have taken an approach of tiering the coverage that we offer. So, similarly to how small business customers may be used to seeing different tiers of credit card options that they can buy, we've got a similar set. So, for customers who need to buy insurance but are highly cost conscious, we have an option available for them. And then, depending on the breadth of the coverage that they choose to purchase in order to cover, the risks that keep them up at night, we then also have a broader coverage available at a higher premium base in order to cater to those businesses as well.
Okay, and you kind of touched on some of these aspects, but just to kind of hit home the key points, where do you think the biggest gaps are today or the unmet needs as it relates to the pain points that the small business customers are feeling when it comes to insurance specifically?
I think there's a real lack of understanding and education about the value of insurance. Um, uh, we did a research survey at the end of 2023, our underinsurance report, and we found that 75% of customers are underinsured in the U.S. and over 80% of our customers don't understand what a general liability policy actually does. And that's one of the most fundamental types of business insurance that a business can buy. And so, where I think we as an organization and as an industry can really add value is through customer education. Beyond the promise to pay should things go wrong, but how insurance can really enable risk and really enable businesses to take the leap, to grow and mature, take on that new contract that opens doors for them. So I think that lack of understanding and education is something that we need to address. Hiscox has a tool online where customers can better understand what type of insurance they need for their business as a way to kind of get at this point. Um, I also think that there's a significant amount of complexity and fragmentation around the buying process. One insurer may be able to insure one part of a commercial insurance package, then they'll have to go to a different insurer for another part of their commercial insurance package. And that takes time and energy and understanding and away from what our entrepreneurs want to spend their time on, which is focusing on the day-to-day operations of their business. So to my point earlier around the importance of packaging products and expanding appetite to lean into that ease of the insurance purchase process, I think that's a very large unmet need or pain point based off of the research that we've done in this space.
So going back to paying for the insurance, what do you offer today to help customers spread the cost manage things from a cash flow perspective? Again, affordability. Do you do something in-house? Do you partner with third parties? Maybe premium finance, maybe something else. How do you think about that?
Yeah. So Hiscox is interesting in that we're an omni-channel insurer. Our customers can either come to us directly or via an intermediary. On that basis, we have a number of different payment options available. So customers are able to either pay in full for their premium on an annual basis, or we have the option for them to make installment payments in order to spread the cost of the insurance across a 12-month period of time. In addition to that, when a customer is purchasing their insurance from us via a broker, there are arrangements that those customers are able to make with their broker in order to help finance their premium if they're electing not to pay in full.
Okay. So obviously you do a lot of innovation in-house, but I presume you, at some point you also partner with maybe fintechs or other insurtech companies. What is the methodology that you use to identify potential partners? How do you evaluate them? How do you integrate with them? Or who do you decide to not work with? What does that look like on your end?
So we have an amazing partnership team that is responsible for assessing the uh, compatibility with a prospective partner. So they will be responsible for bringing a partner on board and maintaining that relationship. In terms of what we really look for, is we look for partners who value their customers as much as we value ours, and have the same uh, or similar customer bases as we're targeting. So we very much value and focus on providing insurance solutions for America's entrepreneurs. And so when we're looking at partners, we look for partners that also are targeting the entrepreneurial space, that will have a specialism and support our products and represent our products in a way that is aligned with our brand.
Okay, that makes sense. Is there anything else that you think we should discuss that we haven't had a chance to cover yet as it relates to innovation and small business customers and how to best cater for them going forward?
I appreciate the opportunity to respond to this question. I think the main point that I want to emphasize is insurance is more than just a promise to pay when things go wrong. There is a lot of value that comes with an annual insurance policy that often gets underlooked. In some instances, like in a cyber policy, for example, there are services provided by the cyber insurer that are risk management capabilities, so penetration testing, for example, or there might be other access to other risk management that they can, small businesses can tap into when they're entering into new contracts, when they're updating consent forms, when they're taking a look at the contractual relationship with a potential new client or with a subcontractor, for example. So I would encourage any small business or any business really who is purchasing an insurance policy to investigate whether or not there are these additional value-added services that come with the purchase of their insurance policy, and most critically that promise should things go right.
Tyler, thank you very much for your time and insight. Appreciate that. Thank you.